Hey folks, Redneck Vaper here, chilling out in the backyard. Gonna have a chat with you today. Subject at hand is, one, I just had my 2-year vape-versary. And for y'all that don't know what vape-versary is, that means that I have went over 2 years without smoking a cigarette, all because of vaping. I started vaping 2 years ago on October 13th, 2013, and I haven't picked a cigarette up since. Been using numerous different devices. So yay, let's have a vape together. So what this video is going to be about is me pretty much just telling y'all kind of how I did it, and maybe throwing some pointers in there that can help some of y'all out there that haven't made the transition just yet. Hold up just a second. One, 2 years ago, the devices on the market at the time that I started weren't that great. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that's been vaping a lot longer than I have, and the struggle was a lot harder on them than it was me, but that doesn't make it any less harder. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people out there like to sugarcoat this method of tobacco harm reduction. They like to sugarcoat it. They like to tell you it's easy. It's easy. It's not easy, no matter who you are. Some people it's easier for them, and other people it's really hard for them to make the switch. So, you know, I started out with a little cigarette looking kit that I bought from an online vendor. I had no idea what I was doing at the time, so I just found what I thought would work for me. I'll insert a picture of it here real quick. Anyway, it was the Joytech E-Roll. It was a little cigarette looking device that had a little cartridge that you could put your own juice in, and a really small, it had 2 small batteries in it that were probably 80 milliamp hour or something like that. And that's what I filled up. When I got it in the mail, I filled it up. I had 5 cigarettes left in my pack. The next day I went ahead and smoked those 5 cigarettes, and when them 5 cigarettes was gone, I used that little E-Roll pack. What it was a little cigarette looking thing. If you saw the picture, you stuck it down in this little personal charging case type of thing that would charge it back up after you got done using it. So that's what I used, and I struggled with it for a week, at least a week. I kept myself from, I got it down in my mind that I wasn't going to buy any more cigarettes, but it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I got myself not to buy any cigarettes, and then, you know, I got to researching online, watching YouTube reviewers like Phil Basardo and some of the other ones out there like Grim Green, you know, searching around. And I went to a local pawn shop. I'll just go ahead and say pawn shop. There wasn't no vape shops in my town at the time. And I picked up a Ego Twist kit. It was like an Ego, like an 1100 mAh Ego battery with an EVOD tank on the top of it. I put some juice in that, and I hit that sucker, and I went, I think I can do this now. I can do this. The little cigarette looking little E-Roll kit, man, sun's coming up, but man, it didn't hold a candle to what that twist in that EVOD tank would do for me. And that right there, that upped that confidence. So what I'm saying is, if you start out and you feel like you got the wrong kit, don't give up. Don't give up. Try something different. If you have a local shop in your area, always go to that shop and ask them. Show them what you have. Show them or tell them what your problem is with it. Tell them what about it is not doing it for you. Get what I'm saying? Oh, the bugs are getting everywhere, but moving on, you know, it wasn't easy. The whole first month, I'd say the first 2 months. I'm just going to put it like that. The first 2 months has got to be the hardest. The first week is hard. The first 2 weeks. Every week, every day of the first 2 months is the hardest part. And next up, you know, at that time, we didn't have eye sticks, you know, certain batteries that will last all day long. I ended up having to buy a couple more stick batteries, a couple more tanks, because at the beginning you need to try a variety of different juices, because that is like number 2 in my book, is the hardest thing. Actually, that might be the first one. Actually, number 1, you need to get a really good kit. You know, you need something really good to start with. It might cost you a little bit, you know, cost you more than you want to spend, but if you buy the right kit the first time, it'll save you a lot of money. Me, I spent 60 bucks on that Eero kit that I used for a week, and I kind of used it as a backup from thereafter. 60 bucks, and then I spent another 40 bucks on that EVOD kit. So I spent 100 bucks just on equipment in the first 2 weeks. So might as well get the good kit to start with. Might as well fork that money out and get you the good kit. Usually you can get a really good setup for about the price of a carton of cigarettes now. And after 2 weeks, you've got your money back in your pocket. Moving back on to juice selection. Juice selection is the hardest, has to be the hardest part, because every single person is different. Me, at the time, I wanted something that tasted like a cigarette. I had to have tobacco. I had to have some kind of tobacco or something that when I hit that thing, it tasted like a cigarette or similar to a cigarette. There are other people out there, they want something that doesn't taste anything like a cigarette because that's what they want to get away from. So if you have a local shop in your area that has a juice bar where you can sample the liquids before you buy them, I highly recommend you visit them just to do that. Even if you don't buy anything, even if you don't buy any of the juice, at least go and try. That way it kind of gives you an idea of what, kind of gives you a starting point at what your flavor profile is, because every single person is different. So once we've got the juice out of the way, what I did was I always had 2 flavors on me at all times. I had 2 full setups set up, battery, tank, with 2 different flavors in it, because not every flavor can be an all-day vape for everybody. So if I was hitting on the, say like a certain tobacco the first half of the day and I started getting burnt out of it, I'd pick up that second setup and start hitting whatever flavor I had in it. And usually they would equal each other out to where I could actually get a full day of not stressing. You know what I mean? Not stressing that bad. Next thing would have to be, you know, nicotine selection. What is your range of nicotine? What is enough? What is not too much? Me, most people that I see that come into the shop that I work at, if they smoke a pack or more a day, I like to at least start them out on 1 bottle of 18. A lot of other people, you know, and this is on standard setups. This ain't on any sub-ohm type setup. I'm talking about just standard like starter kits, and say like a Nautilus Mini or a Nautilus tank or an Aero tank, something like that. Something that is more for the mouth to lung with a tighter pull, which I do recommend that for beginners. Most beginners need that tight draw because it's that, you know, that pull that's similar to a cigarette. Some people that smoke less than a pack a day, Maybe fine right at 12, you know. But I always tell the person, I'm like, if you feel like it's too much, come back, get 12. If you feel like it's not enough, come back, get 18. If they're at 18 and they feel like it ain't enough, come back and get 24. One thing I've noticed about a lot of the popular juice companies now, they're not offering 24 anymore. It's like they're forgetting about the beginners. It's like they're completely doing away with 24 and even 18. I've seen popular companies, just the highest they offer is 12 now. They're doing away with 18. Are we losing focus on the beginners, folks? It's a good question right there, isn't it? Let's see, I've covered device, nicotine, flavor. Okay. Another thing is support. Most good vape shops, if you ever have any problems with your device, like your battery stops working, or the coil stops working, or something like that, there should be knowledgeable people working at these vape shops. I'm not going to say that they all do, but I hope that the majority of them do. Don't hesitate to go see them. Bring your setup, bring everything with you, and tell them exactly what it's doing wrong. Because in most cases, and I'm going to say like 9.5 out of 10 cases, it's something very, very simple to fix. A very, very simple fix. Like with, just for example, an ego battery. I cannot tell you how many times, and if this has happened to you, do not feel bad. You are not alone. How many times people have come in and said, I've had this on the charger all night long and it doesn't work. And they've handed it to me and I took the battery and I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the button on the battery, the ego battery, and turned it back on for them. Sometimes the battery gets turned off, like you might hit it too many times in a row, or it turns itself off while it's charging. I'm telling you, it's a very, very popular issue in my area. So don't feel bad if it's something that's happened to you. Just take that button and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if the light blinks and then it's working, it's working. There you go. Troubleshooting 101 with Redneck Vaper. Next thing I can talk about, I'm bringing up, how I've made it. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I did a lot of research, trial and error, costing me a lot of money over time. One of the main reasons I've started this channel was to try to help people get the right setup the first time. I've slacked off for the last 6 months or so, but that's because I've been really busy with my personal life and really busy with work. But that still doesn't make me want to stop doing these videos. So, if you can find a good group on Facebook, find a good group anywhere, any of the social media outlets, don't hesitate to ask questions. There are no wrong questions or bad questions, or however you would word that. There are no stupid questions in vaping. And if you get in a group and people make you feel stupid for asking that question, leave that group and find a better one. Simple as that, because they're not worth your time. Not worth your time. There's a lot of trolls out there. That's another thing I want to point out. The internet is so broken right now. So broken. So many people think they get a thrill out of attempting to pee people off. Attempting to piss people off. So don't let yourself get in on that. Leave the group. Delete your comment. Or delete your post. Whatever. Shake it off. Don't let them. Don't go down to their levels. What I'm saying. And you can always message me here on Facebook, or I always leave all my links down in the description. You can message me on Facebook. You can message me here on YouTube. You can DM me on Instagram if you need to. If you got any questions, I'd be more than happy to help you. And next subject. Let me get back on where I'm at here. This might be a brain fart right here. Brain fart alert! But anyway, back on to, you know, that's just some of the things that I want to offer out to y'all, especially if you're a beginner. To don't hesitate to ask questions. Don't feel stupid about nothing. We're all in this together. I mean, we've all been there. If somebody tells you they didn't have some kind of struggle back in the beginning, that it was just easy peasy getting up to the point they're at, more than likely they're lying to you. They can get pissed off at me all they want, but nothing is easy. Especially habits, you know, bad habits, eating wrong, smoking, you know, these are all bad habits that if we've done it for so long, it's so hard to just completely turn your life around in one day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was hooked, you know, but like I said, the first month or so, I struggled. We all do. I just didn't break down and smoke the cigarette. If you did, that's not a bad thing. Did you learn your lesson? As long as you learned your lesson, I'm not mad at you. And nobody else should be mad at you. If you break down, you smoke a cigarette, and you're like, oh, that's disgusting, and then you go back to the vaping, and you're all good, you learned your lesson. Lesson learned, move on. Don't sweat it. Okay? Next thing I want to talk about is you need to reward yourself. Set goals. Set certain milestones you want to hit when you decide you want to make the switch. Decide you want to quit smoking. You want to vape. Set certain goals. Set certain milestones. Excuse me. With me, when I started, I wanted to hit 3 months and a day, because that's the longest I'd ever quit on any of the other methods that the pharmaceutical companies and all that offered. And the only other method that ever got me that long was I took the medication Chantix. And oh my God, people, that stuff messed me up so bad in the head. I didn't smoke a cigarette for 3 months, but I'll go ahead and tell you, I was messed up in the head for a while after that. I do not recommend anybody use any medication to quit smoking. I'm no doctor. I'm just telling you based off of personal experiences. I used the patch. The patch made me so mean. I was so mad all the time. It's like I was ill. I was just ill all the time. Same thing with the gum. Nothing like satisfied my urge to, you know, while I was quit. So, like I said, you need to set yourself some goals. Set yourself some milestones. Mine was 3 months and a day, which would have took me over the longest I'd ever quit. Over the 17 years I smoked was 3 months. So when I hit 3 months and a day, I went and bought me a new mod. Which at the time, the new mod I wanted was a VV/V. It was a variable voltage, variable wattage mod called a Z-Max. It was a Smoke Tech Z-Max Mini. Little thing like that. I'll throw a picture in here just to show it to you that I had it. Anyway, that's what I bought. That was the thing back then. You know, I talk like it was so long ago. Heck, it wasn't so long. And you know, vaping hasn't been around long enough. And this is going to point me to another thing about the internet people. You ever been in that group where there was this guy? There was this guy trying to throw some advice at you, and it just doesn't sound right. And you're like, well, what about that? And then they come back and go, believe me, I'm a veteran vapor. Veteran vapor. What the hell is the job specifications or the requirements to become a veteran vapor? It ain't been around long enough for anybody to consider it veteran. I've been vaping this long and I don't consider myself a veteran. I bet you Grim Green won't admit he's a veteran vapor either. He's probably... Anybody that learns something new every day, you're not a veteran. We're all learning something new every day. So don't always believe that guy or gal that posts in there, oh, I'm a veteran vapor. When they say they're a veteran vapor, ask them how long they've been vaping. And then say, well, what are the requirements to become a veteran vapor? And if it's a really short list, then say, well, I guess I'm a veteran vapor too. Anyway, moving back on to rewarding yourself. Gotta reward yourself. It doesn't have to be a new mod, but I mean, if you start out with it, most people want to start with starter kits because it's usually the cheaper route. They want to see if they're going to like it or not. And then once they realize they like it, they want to get something better. Something that gives them a better hit. More like me, I was a lung puller. You know, I'm a lung hitter when I smoked. I'm a lung hitter now. I never did the mouth to lung. I always liked lung hits. When they came out with the when I started dripping, that was like heaven to me. Then when they came out with sub-ohm tanks, I was like, oh my God, that's just, perfect little stealthy, easy to take along with me, gives me the perfect hit. Anyway, moving on to rewarding yourself. It don't have to be a mod. Say like once I hit 6 months, I'm gonna have my wife or my spouse, my wife or my husband, take me out to dinner. Or go to a movie, or go to something you've been wanting to do for a good while, because if you do it just right, if you don't get carried away and buy every new mod that's on the market, you're saving money. Easily. I was spending 70-80 bucks a week on cigarettes. Now, 2 years later, cigarettes are over a pack more, or $1 more a pack than they were when I was smoking. And that's that much more money I'm saving because I ain't smoking no more. Like, here for my 2-year vape-iversary this last Saturday, I pre-ordered the Tug Life DNA 200 mod from Flawless. And I'll probably throw as long as this video's getting I'll do like a first look unboxing. So y'all look forward to that. I'll show y'all my new mod that I bought for myself to reward myself for being smoke-free this long. So reward yourself. If it has to be 3 months, if it has to be a week, reward yourself after a week if you have to. A week, 3 months, 6 months, your year, 9 months, 2 years, 5 years. It just goes on and on, because if you think about it, over time, you should have that extra money in your pocket. Most of us tend to find something else to spend that money on, like, in some cases, it's food. I have a lot of people that ask me, they're like, do you gain, is this going to make me gain weight? Is this going to make me gain weight? Me, it didn't. It didn't for the first year and a half or so. But the only reason I've gained weight now is because I'm not working as physically as I used to. Saying I work at a vape shop now, there's not a whole lot of physical exertion, there. It's more mental. And you enjoy food more. Your taste buds have all come back. You enjoy food more. You enjoy, fruits. And, the only reason I can say that you might possibly gain weight only because you enjoy food more. So I'll go ahead and say that. Like, I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to tell you won't gain weight. I can't tell you didn't. I did, because I enjoy food. I'm working on that now. I'm trying to eat better and everything. But you know what? Take one bad habit at a time. Don't try to do it all at once. Don't try to do it all at once. Don't try to quit smoking and quit eating bad and quit. Take it one step at a time. One step at a time, people. And that's pretty much. If I miss anything here, I apologize. But this is how I wanted to do my 2-year vape-iversary. A lot of people do a celebration, and do a big giveaway. Me, I want to throw my experience out there and share my story with y'all. If you haven't watched my montage or whatever that I did a couple months ago, I think it was in July, it might have been June, I gathered up all the photos of all the different mods and stuff that I've used over the last year and 8 months or so, whatever it was back then, and threw it all together in like a slideshow type of thing. So go check that out if you haven't. I'll leave a link in the description, or I'll put one of them little things up in the corner there for you to click on. But I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm sure this is over 20 minutes long. Sorry I took up too much of your time, but I'm here to stay, and I've got some good stuff I wanna do for y'all now. Like I said, I've always enjoyed being different than everybody else. I don't want to be the same old guy standing behind the camera showing you the same old stuff. So I guess I'll just leave it at that. Like always, folks, this is Redneck Vaper. Y'all keep on vaping, and I'll see you next time. Y'all be good out there. Vape safe, vape strong. All those other things that people say. Bloop.